Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium, CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello, welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Michael Voris. Notre Dame silent on suicide. University officials are refusing to comment regarding the apparent suicide of a St. Mary's College freshman. 19-year-old Elizabeth Seberg told university police that she had been sexually attacked by a member of the Notre Dame football team. Seberg was found dead in her dorm room about 10 days later, apparently from an overdose of drugs prescribed to treat her anxiety and depression. All of this according to a Chicago Tribune article. Notre Dame administrators did not notify St. Joseph County Police Department of the alleged attack, again that from the newspaper article, nor are they making any statements regarding their internal inquiries. News of this investigation comes on the heels of another student death just last month, also linked to the Notre Dame football program. On October 27th, 20-year-old junior Declan Sullivan was killed while taping football practice when the scissor lift he was riding in toppled over in dangerously high winds. The voice of reason. This week's media frenzy over the Pope's comments regarding condoms has not included much in the way of critical thinking. Thankfully, the voice of reason can be heard defending Pope Benedict's statements and what the Church has always taught. In a recent National Catholic Register article, Cardinal Raymond Burke is quoted as saying, quote, "I don't see any change in the Church's teaching. What he's commenting on, in fact, he makes the statement very clearly that the Church does not regard the use of condoms as a real or moral solution," end quote. Meanwhile, liberal media dinosaurs like Reuters are choosing to simply ignore those facts. By refusing to accept that the Pope's statements have been taken out of context, some news reports are quickly making dissident Catholics look like true believers and are already using the incident to bash Humanae Vitae, as well as making vain attempts to undermine Catholic moral teaching in the public eye. Tulsa takes a stand against the CCHD. Reports are emerging from the Diocese of Tulsa, Oklahoma, that the local bishop there, James Slattery, had an email from him read out loud immediately before all masses in his diocese this past weekend. The content of the email was to announce that all the funds collected in this past Sunday's annual CCHD collection would remain within the diocese. All the funds would remain in the diocese. None of them would be going to the National Bishop's Office in Washington, D.C., not one penny. The normal procedure is that 75% of all money collected goes to the national office for the Catholic Campaign for Human Development, and 25% remains local. The national office has come under intense fire for distributing the money to many groups in grants that supposedly fight poverty, but are actually community organizing groups with strong ties to the pro-abortion and pro-homosexual rights groups movement. Georgetown going gender blind. Students at Georgetown University say they want to consider something called gender blind housing options, according to the student newspaper The Hoya. If the policy is employed by university administrators, cohabitation would be normalized when assigning student housing. While reaction to the housing policy is drawing a mixed reaction among the student body, some are concerned that the discussion is being driven by homosexual activists seeking to further eliminate the presence of Catholic moral teaching regarding human sexuality. Currently, 54 American colleges have approved gender-blind housing programs, including all Ivy League institutions. Stay with us, back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web, and RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
CatholicUnderground.com, the podcast about our Catholic faith and new media.
Vote Hoax. A Minnesota couple says they never intended to kill their child by abortion, no matter how people voted. Peter and Alicia Arnold have admitted that their Birth or Not website was a hoax and say that they weren't intending to deceive anyone, but merely wanted people to discuss the moral evil of abortion. You may remember in an earlier report, the couple claimed that they weren't sure if they wanted to become parents and were allowing people to vote on whether or not their unborn child would be aborted. Arnold admits that he purchased the web domain while Alicia was not pregnant and intended to fuel the abortion debate using the site as soon as she was with child. And lastly, Godless Thanks. Americans can expect another Godless Thanksgiving message from the White House this year, according to an article in the American Spectator. If this year's Thanksgiving greetings are anything like last year's, the good Lord will barely be mentioned when Obama delivers this year's Thanksgiving proclamation to the American people. While presidents from Washington to Bush have consistently reminded our nation to thank the Almighty, our community organizer-in-chief seems interested in thanking everyone but God. So as you gather around your family table this Thanksgiving, perhaps you might pray for the first family and all those who do not know Christ, because He alone is the one true source of our rights, freedoms, and bounty. And that is who we are thanking when we say Thanksgiving. And from all of us here at Real Catholic TV, we wish you and your family and all of your loved ones a very blessed, holy, and happy Thanksgiving. I'm Michael Voris. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and tune in again tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And be sure and check out The Vortex today, where we talk about the epic failure of the Vatican's communications strategy. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and tell your friends about us. And as always, God bless you.